This hobnobbing with the nobility suits you.
I didn't think you had a particularly high opinion of them.
Meant in the best possible way. I knew the day I met you that you'd rise above the rest of the refugees. I wish there were more nobles who had to earn it. Do the Dalish ever have fancy parties? I always imagine they celebrate most big occasions by eating mushrooms and acorns, and maybe dancing naked around a campfire.
You know, I was wondering when the naked dancing was going to start, and the human sacrifice. I mean, you just can't throw a decent party without kidnapping a human child and offering her entrails to the sky gods.
Really?
No.
You owe me 50 silvers.
You were cheating.
So were you.
You had supernatural help.
Excuses. Just admit it. I beat you at your own game.
Ugh.
50 silvers. Your family was Elysian, weren't they?
My father was exiled to Ferelden. I have no memory of Orlais. Why?
Next time you yell at me, I think I'll picture you doing it in an Orlesian accent. Makes it much harder to take you seriously. Couldn't you talk to Gallard for me? He likes you.
I told you not to play that last hand.
Yes, but I did it anyway, and now the coterie has an IOU for my right ear.
Gallard won't collect on that. He's got enough ears of his own.
You didn't hear him admiring mine all night, and saying that he's always wanted a hat made of human ears, and calling a hatter.
Oh, look on the bright side. Losing your ear will add to your tortured look. Some women really like that.
What was your father like?
A good man. Patient. He never yelled, but you knew when he was disappointed.
You and Bethany were lucky. Most mages would kill to have what you had. At the Circle, any accidental babies are taken away before the mother even sees them.
That's horrible. You never could get a straight answer out of the man. Everything was a joke. People say I take after him.
If more mages were allowed to keep their families, people would learn not to fear them so much.
And the Chantry says it's all about protecting families. Strict. High expectations. And if you didn't meet them, you'd hear about it.
At the Circle, any accidental babies are taken away before the mother even sees them.
My father would never stand for that.
You seem to know a lot about the Canary, Fenris.
I spent most of my life in close proximity.
So you know about these Ben Hasrath.
You could ask me, you know.
But I'm asking him.
The Ben Hasrath enforce the will of the Qun. They ensure all follow its dictates.
Like Templars?
Not quite, but close enough.
Your mother was supposed to marry the Comte de Lancey, wasn't she? So if things had gone differently, you could have been a de Lancey.
I know. It's hard to imagine.
The pretension.
The dresses.
The vapidness.
The shoes.
I think you got the better deal. Maybe you should join the Qun, Fenris.
We could go together. I'd be happy to sew your mouth shut.
Orlesian.
Fop. Party.
Crash.
Seriously, Blondie, no one ever invites you anywhere?
I've spent most of my life with the Circle, Grey Wardens, or refugees. Not party people, most of them. Would you?
Good point.
So, Templar.
Anders is talking about Templars again. Does that count as one word?
I don't understand Talis.
She had an emptiness in her life. For her, the Qun filled it.
Don't you hate them?
The Chantry has failed the elves. If we made them more welcome, they would not have to run. Maybe the Qunari will force us to better bring word of the Maker's compassion to our own people.
I'm a little surprised the Duke let you come here.
I'll have you know I'm perfectly capable of carrying on polite conversation without using the word shit or arse. And all these jewels everyone's wearing? It's too easy. No challenge.
I didn't think you were going to steal anything.
Then what's your problem?
I would imagine most fancy or Orlesian hunting parties require,
What?
pants.
I just want to say that I'm proud of the restraint you showed here.
I'm not a monster. I'm not going to turn into a raging abomination every time someone commits a fashion faux pas.
I meant not taking advantage of a captive audience to proselytize about the fate of mages. But the other thing is good too.
Just think, if your mother had stayed in Kirkwall, this could have been your life. Servants, chateaux, fox hunts with visiting royals.
Spare me.
Isn't that what you want? No magic, no running, no one looking down at you?
The only thing worse than being surrounded by apostates is being surrounded by Orlesians.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. So, the Cune, huh? You just woke up one day and decided, what I really need in life is a big guy with horns telling me everything I should think.
Believe me, it wasn't that quick. Haven't you ever looked at the world and wondered where the justice is, the equality? In the Cune, everyone is welcome. Elves, humans, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, there's a place for you.
Unless you're a mage.
You won't find that anywhere in Thedas.
So, you trust this woman who just leapt off a rooftop into the middle of an ambush with the crows?
I didn't have anything to do with the ambush.
I wasn't asking if you did.
I'm pretty sure she's not a Templar, Anders.
Here I always figured you'd be the one coming to spring me from someone's dungeon. I had it all planned. I'd be in the gallows, Templars all around, holding the brand for the right of tranquility. Then you'd burst in and break my chains. And then it would be all about the best way to show my gratitude.
You already know the best way to do that. Did it have anything to do with finding another use for those chains?
Oh, get a room.
Then I should spend some time working out how to thank you.
This is all so sweet, but we didn't actually do any rescuing, remember?
I hate to point this out, but Talus rescued Hawk.
Though, you didn't actually rescue me, did you?
It's the thought that counts.
Not to come between you two or anything, but you didn't actually rescue us. I did.
I could be grateful to you too. You realize that Canary make the Circle of Magi look like a pleasant vacation.
Yes.
And you're all right with that?
It doesn't make me believe in the Cune any less.
But you think it's all right for them to sew up a mage's mouth or cut out his tongue?
Right this second, I do. Yes.
Why did Hawk think it was a good idea to bring me to some stuffy Orlesian hunt? I hate these things.
You and me both.
Are you actually agreeing with me? I thought that was against some kind of policy.
Well, it's so rare for you to say something that isn't crazy. I thought I should encourage it.
This is very exciting, isn't it?
What? Crashing a fancy Orlesian party?
Usually we just go in hitting people. We've never done anything like this before.
You might be onto something there. What? Running for our lives through the mountains? Being attacked by mad, monstrous things? Weird Canary affairs? That's an average night for us.
Feathers. Well, Anders can always use those. I swear that man molts in the spring. I guess it could be worse. He could want skunk pelts or something.
I think this is from a Samir bird. The Tevinters hunt them. The feathers are supposed to have magical properties. I've only seen these birds in illustrations. I wasn't even sure they were real.
More feathers. I hope Anders doesn't just cover his entire coat in these.
And one more. Not enough to make new pauldrons, but I'm sure I'll find a good use. Thank you, Hawk. Do you just bring me on these things to bait me? The things you do to win a man's heart. Your support has meant more than I can say. I wish we could stay like this forever, love.
Varric,
You called?
I notice you don't have a nickname for me.
I call you Hawk. You've probably heard it once or twice.
But that's my name. It's not like Daisy or Blondie.
If you really want a nickname, I can oblige. I'm thinking about going with Killer.
How creative.
All right, Waffles. You really want a nickname? I can hook you up.
Waffles? That's unexpected.
Sure. Chuckles. You want a nickname? I'll be happy to fix you up.
Chuckles? That works.
You know, I saw a crossbow just like Bianca in the market the other day.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
You already have a crossbow.
I don't want to replace her, but she could use a friend, someone to sit on the mantle with.
Right.
Don't listen to him, Bianca. You deserve happiness just like anyone else.
Tell me a story, Varric.
Right now? I don't think we have time, Daisy.
Maybe a very short story, then. Please?
Fine. When the cards turned, he lost.
Oh, did it have to be so sad?
Are these the sort of people who buy that drivel you write?
Can you blame them? Shut up in their dreary castles, surrounded by other stuffy nobles who only talk about money and politics. How could they not long for the cold days and hot nights of a fiery, passionate guardswoman?
I prefer my tales a little more grounded. Less of the giant sword and heaving bosom variety.
Ha! Never blame a writer for what his audience wants to hear. How did you learn to speak Kunari?
I wouldn't call what he does speaking Kunari.
I picked it up by listening to them.
Well, that's the part I don't get. I've almost never heard Kunari talking to each other. They just stand around and glower.
That's because they know you're watching. When there's no foreigners around, they gossip and complain just like anyone.
Sometimes more. The Antam has made grousing a sport.
I've always meant to ask Varric, when we met in the Merchant Guild, you seemed to be waiting for me.
That's a statement, Hawk. What's your question?
Were you waiting for me?
Actually, I meant to catch you before you saw Bartrand.
But you knew I'd be there.
Maybe I wasn't obvious about this already, but finding out things I'm not supposed to know is pretty much what I do. Our little Hawk is growing up, Ravani.
I know! Burglary and espionage. I am so proud of him right now I could burst.
Soon he'll be sharking card games and swindling merchants all on his own. Oh, brings a tear to my eye.
I can hear you, you know.
Still a grouch, though. So much to teach, so little time.
Don't get carried away.
Carried away? Us! Perish the thought.
We are the very souls of moderation, Hawk, you know that.
Everything I know about being a scoundrel I learned from you two.
Burglary and espionage. We should have hired a painter to get her portrait so we can remember this day forever.
Next thing you know, she'll be conning guards and cutting purses without us. Oh, where does the time go?
I think I'm going to cry. Look at me. I'm getting misty-eyed.
How'd you put up with Bartrand? He's the most arrogant horse's ass I've ever met.
No, it's not that hard, Junior. He's my brother.
Don't start with that unconditional love rubbish.
Forget family ties. I have blackmail material forever. At any point, I can launch into the story of how he peed himself at a grand ball.
Last name Tethras, right? I've heard of that clan.
Get out. Nobody's heard of Clan Tethras.
My father owned a dwarven sword with a Clan Tethras rune on it.
Huh. Must have been Deucin. He was a smith. Tried to become Paragon. Ended up poisoning himself.
Really?
Oh, he was terrible at intrigue. Forgot which goblet he put the poison in. Wasn't finished gloating to his enemy when he keeled over. I think the family always had a sense for terrible drama. All right, Shivs, I'll admit it. I'm surprised the Kunari employ thieves. They never struck me as the subtle type.
That's because you've only met the Antom. Armies aren't usually celebrated for their sneakiness. Also, shivs?
Yes, Shivs. So how does stealing valuables from a pompous Orlesian noble fit in with your Kyun?
The eyes don't own the light, the mouth does not own the breath. Things are just things to the Kyun. They belong to everyone.
Even the Tome of Koslan? That was worth starting a war over?
The tome isn't a thing anymore. It's a soul, a purpose. Like Bianca, but with pages.
Bianca takes offense to that.
Bianca's not a thing. She's your soul. Any Kunari could tell you that.
You know, we're not that different, Varric. There was a time when I spent my days drinking and gambling.
Was this before or after you got Andraste's face soldered to your pelvis?
During, actually. That's not the sort of thing a man does while he's sober. I'm just lucky it's a belt buckle, not a tattoo. Your Merchant's Guild reminds me of the court at Starkhaven. Intrigue and gossip wrapped in a layer of formality.
If Starkhaven was a tenth as bad, I see why you took the Chantry.
Fashion was the worst part. In the Chantry, I never have to worry whether doublets are meant to be fitted or padded this year.
In Starkhaven, do they bludgeon you to death for forgetting the name of a minor clerk's third daughter?
Only if you're lucky.
Oh, choir boy, suddenly your life makes much more sense to me.
I know you're in the Merchant's Guild, Varric, but I've never seen your shop.
We're not that kind of merchant, Daisy.
What kind are you, then?
House Tethras invests in... you're not going to understand a word of this financial stuff, are you?
Not a word. No. But I promise to pay close attention anyway.
Right. Well, in that case, we have lots of shops, but they're invisible. Only dwarves and accountants can see them. Should have come to the Hanged Man last week. You missed Brennan drunk off her ass, reciting love poems to Corf.
She did not.
4 hours she spent clinging to the bar, shouting sonnets at the poor man.
Oh, a guardsman's poetry. That's assault, that is.
Keep an eye on her. I think she's in possession of a few concealed dirty limericks, too.
So I hear there was very little dancing at the party. Not a flounce or a pirouette in sight.
Didn't think you'd show interest in any dance that doesn't end with someone's guts on the floor.
All women like dancing. Just ask Bianca.
Well, Bianca isn't interested in any dance that doesn't end with someone's guts on the floor.
Oh, right.
I'm surprised your parents never married you off, Varric.
I was still in diapers when my father died. I'm sure he was getting around to it.
And your brother never married either, right? Wasn't he concerned about continuing the Tethras line?
Your family's dead and you're still celibate, right? Or has Hawk managed to talk you out of that?
Not yet.
Pity. Why don't you take care of that little quirk before you come bothering me? What's the matter, Sunshine? Thought you'd be enjoying the whole fancy Orlesian estate thing more.
I can't believe I wore this to the chateau. Maker, what was I thinking?
We're breaking in. I think it's acceptable to be underdressed for a burglary.
I have to get a new dress before we assault anyone else's estate.
Still playing the innocent while picking every purse in sight.
Still, actually, you're doing all right.
Thought I was. I suppose it's the same for you, really.
'Tis true, 'tis true.
It's more fun hating each other, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, that meeting with Edge?
The one that turned into an ambush just now.
I changed my mind. Let's not go.
You should wear one of those Orlesian dresses, Bethany.
Why, because I'm a girl? Because I should wear big flowing skirts?
Because you'd look pretty in one.
Oh. I see. They are pretty, aren't they? Uncle Gamlin's been sneaking into my room. He thinks I don't notice, but he's not exactly a master criminal.
Has he been inappropriate?
He was born that way, but no. Nothing bad.
Does that mean I should stop doing that too?
Gross!
Is Mother sure we're related to that slime?
Would she put up with him otherwise?
I'm going to rip his bloody head off.
It's more pathetic than anything untoward. As far as I can tell, he's been going through my things for loose coin. I'm missing a silver 8. I never get to go to parties. They don't throw parties for mages in hiding. What a surprise. What about you? Do pirates have parties?
Sort of. I remember some friends of mine breaking open a keg when they captured Ned Tinders.
That sounds exciting.
They hung him from the prow over shark-infested waters with his belly slashed open.
Oh?
The beer was good, though.
Are you sure we should be doing this? I mean, I know we need coin, but stealing? What if this Duke is on good terms with the Templars?
We're not stealing. We're returning the jewel to its rightful owner. You are all right with smuggling thousands of sovereigns for a Thenril, but you draw the line at one jewel. You don't bat an eye at fireballing people for Mirren's profit, but you draw the line at stealing.
We didn't have a choice. Now that we're working for ourselves, I just thought we could do better.
We won't get caught.
So, you're Hawk's sister?
Did he tell you that?
Not at all. You think someone can't tell?
What do you mean? We're nothing alike. Or at least I don't think so.
You're adorable. I wish I'd had a sister like you.
The mage who went away. Yes.
Many families have them.
And are proud of them.
It shows.
I was. Before I got the blight.
Bethany.
Oh, right. Sorry. Everything's just like it always was. Better?
Not especially. Never mind.
Do you feel out of place here, Bethany? I do.
I feel dreadfully underdressed, if that's what you mean.
Oh, you're not underdressed. You have pants on and everything.
Is it because we're not actually in Kirkwall?
What?
I mean, as a city guard, aren't you honour-bound to stop Tallis from stealing whatever she's after?
We'll see. But generally, the honour-bound don't get much done.
Good point.
Just like old times, isn't it? Going on adventures, getting into scrapes. It's like you're free again.
I don't mind it so much. I don't have to hide or worry about Templars hunting me. It's funny. The idea of the circle is much more terrifying than the reality of it. Though perhaps my transition was made easier by the books you sent, along with your letters.
Oh, you liked them, did you?
They were wicked. It was like you were there.
Please, for the love of all that's holy, don't write to my sister any more. Ugh! Must you talk about this within earshot? What am I hearing? I don't want to hear this. I'm not hearing this. Happy to be out of the circle?
It's strange. I miss a lot. But other things, you're a far better representative of the family than I would have been.
I don't believe that for a second. Happy to be out of the deep roads for a while?
Not especially. I'm sure it's nice for you. These are your kind of people. No, that wasn't fair. I'm sorry. That was about me.
I know. And it wasn't fair for you either.
You should wear one of those Orlesian dresses, Bethany.
If only. Imagine the snags I'd get chasing Darkspawn.
Why does fashion not consider the needs of the woman on the go?
All right, don't work it too hard. Not circle compliant, I'm afraid.
Is compliance your only concern?
Given some of our training. Flammability is a big one as well. I used to want this, you know?
Still do. I can tell.
But it's far, far less likely to happen.
Well, since when does want give two squirts about likely? Enjoy it.
2 squirts, Varric.
But all this grandeur has me eloquented out.
Do you think I should change my hair, Isabella?
Change it how, kitten?
I don't know. I've always had it like this. Talis has pretty hair.
I think yours is darling the way it is.
But would it be better if it were red?
Then you'd look like a lollipop. Stick with your natural colour.
I suppose that's best. I wouldn't want strangers to try to lick my hair.
It was nice to see you in the chantry, listening to Sister Etheline's testimony. I was surprised, but very glad.
I was surprised as well and not quite as glad.
Oh? Sister Etheline's words always inspire me. Was it not so for you?
You didn't notice I was bound, gagged, and had a contusion on my forehead?
What?
Just don't ask for the bad girl special at the Blooming Rose.
You've been to Orlais, Isabella?
Once or twice. Spent some time in a prison in Valchevin.
But you broke out.
Broke into, actually. Getting out was the easy part.
All to steal something magnificent, I imagine?
No, they threw my first mate in there. I'd always liked Cassavir, so I wasn't going to just abandon him.
Ah, and he is dead now, along with the rest of your crew?
Him? No, I left him on the docks, the idiot. My husband used to have hunting parties like this.
I'd forgotten you were married. It's hard to picture you playing the hostess, taking cloaks and kissing babies.
No, there were servants for that. I just had to sit there and look pretty. If I got out of hand, he would lock me away with a bottle of wine and a dirty book. Told everyone I was indisposed.
My parents used to do the same thing. Minus the wine and the, dirty book.
Can I just imagine that wyverns are small, completely non-poisonous, bunny-like creatures?
Not unless you picture it eating you.
Spoil sport.
So these are the hunting grounds.
Do we need a lure? What do wyverns like?
If we're lucky, slutty pirates.
Or prudish man-virgins, maybe? Would you tell your uncle to leave me alone? He's often inappropriate.
How so?
Please don't make me go into the details.
I'll see what I can do, and thank you for not breaking his legs.
I don't beat on the elderly, and I really don't want to touch him. How are you two even related? It boggles the mind.
You find something inappropriate?
Extremely so. It's rather repulsive, actually. Please talk to him.
But it's far more entertaining if I don't.
Hawk.
You have pretty eyes.
Oh, you're impossible.
You're perfectly capable of dealing with such things yourself. I've seen it.
You want me to beat up a feeble old man? Well, that's cold even for you. I know. I'll ask Lady Biceps. She'll have an answer.
Break 'em. And wear pants.
Imagine going to one of those Orlesian parties. I'd feel underdressed.
Undressed, you mean?
Well, I don't need to hide from the world by encasing myself in steel up to my eyebrows.
Right. Let it all hang out, so everyone knows what they're getting.
Catfight. Catfight.
We're not fighting. Isn't that right, whore?
Can't you two just get along?
This is us getting along. Isn't that right, whore?
That's right, man-chin.
Bargain harlot.
Carrot head.
Scurvy tramp.
Frigid bear sow.
Wine-soaked pearl diver.
Bull neck.
Strumpet.
Griffin lips.
Poxy tart.
Guards woman.
See? We love each other.
So you say a witch helped you get to Kirkwall?
Flemeth, the Witch of the Wilds.
Oh, her. I see her at the Hanged Man sometimes.
What?
Threatens to turn you into a toad and eat your babies if you beat her at cards.
You're joking.
Perhaps. Eats babies, turns into a dragon. How did you get her help?
There was a deal. I'm not sure who got the better of it.
If you weren't a pirate, what do you think you would have been?
I haven't given it much thought. Maybe a poet?
You would have made a great griffin wrangler.
I'm sorry, what?
You're so quick and clever, you'd be perfect. And you'd get a baby griffin for me, wouldn't you?
Kitten, if griffins existed, and if I was a griffin wrangler and not a pirate, yes, I would find you a baby griffin.
Thanks. I've always wanted a baby griffin called Feathers.
So you were the one who stole the tome. Did you read it?
In between running for my life? Of course I read it.
Ah, sarcasm is one of the demands of the Qun, you know.
No, it's not.
So you did read it then?
How could you choose the Qun? How could anyone choose to have free will taken away, to submit?
You submit all the time and don't even know it.
Oh, say that again, you pasty wench.
Is a sparrow, buffeted by the winds, free to choose where she flies? Think of it this way. I chose to accept the purpose to which I was born.
No one is born to a purpose.
But everyone is born with potential, and the Qun demands the best from all of us. Though, I suppose one could just choose to waste one's potential, like you clearly have.
What you said earlier about purpose.
I was like you once, Isabella. I wanted everything to be easy.
As easy as Isabella?
So you were a giant whore?
Hush you. So what made you decide that giving up every freedom was a grand idea?
Probably the realization that I wasn't all that free to begin with. I'm not saying you should join the Qun, Isabella, but think hard about what you want, before it's too late. I used to be like you. I told myself if I never cared about anyone or anything, I could never be hurt. Life would be fun. But it wasn't. There was a hole inside me. Nothing I did ever filled it.
Oh, that's too easy.
Not everything should be easy. Don't you wonder what it would be like? A life with meaning? With purpose?
I have a purpose. I have Hawk.
Lucky you.
So why haven't you converted to the Qun? You seem to know it well.
And you know the letter of the law, yet choose to ignore it.
Ah, good point.
I didn't escape one form of slavery only to become slave to myself.
What does that mean?
Not sure. But it sounded profound, didn't it?
Ridiculous.
What has your critical gaze fallen upon now?
Why do all legions need to have so many parties all the time?
So it's merrymaking that offends you.
Posturing affairs filled with foppish wine-sipping pinky extenders.
So along with mages, your life, and the weather most days, you also hate Orlesians and merrymaking.
Are you mocking me?
Never. Lies, betrayal, leading us here to die.
And you thought you could do it so much better?
I would never... Well, yes, I would. But there's only room for one backstabbing rogue in this party, Elf.
I apologize. From now on, that position is all yours.
Good. Just so we're clear.
What is it now?
Gassed hole.
Not funny.
Don't forget to loot the bodies.
Do I ever?
Do you really need to pillage the dead?
Pillage and plunder is half the fun. Wait, I'm helping the Kunari recover some priceless artifact. Oh, the irony. When the time comes, I hope the Kunari remember the part I played here.
When what time comes?
Never mind.
Maybe I should join the Qun. They're warriors. They respect strength, determination. They have no family ties.
Really? That's the draw. You might struggle with the obedience to authority part. And they kill you if you whine. You'd hate it.
Ha! Got you. I'm not joining the bloody Qun. But Gamlen, he'd fall for it. So, how is Meryl? Sad that she couldn't come along.
She's fine, all things considered. Why do you... Wait.
What?
You. Meryl. Andraste's granny pants. I can't believe I never saw it before.
What? No. No. You've got it wrong.
Stop fretting. I'm on your side and I always win.
She's not a game of cards.
Whatever. Good at matchmaking, not so good at the analogies.
You should see if any of the noblemen are looking for new men-at-arms.
Are you trying to get rid of me?
It's a role with some autonomy. A good fit with your training and... tendencies.
After serving King Kalen? You want me to suffer some poncy git who needs 2 servants to wipe his own arse? I'll find my own way, thanks.
Do you think wyverns are hard to take care of?
I bet I could tame one for you. They don't seem so tough.
Where would you take it for walks? What if it got hungry and ate the neighbours?
If we're lucky, it would go for Gamlen first. I'm sure my brother could manage it. If you got him one.
She'll find one, too. Thanks for that.
Enjoy your new pet. You could tame it. Tame its wild heart.
I'm sorry. I really am.
Quiet, you. And there goes the moment.
That was adorable.
Been a bit light on the career advice since I got here.
You've been a bit light on needing it. Although why a Templar was sent to observe such a...
Utter waste of ability and time?
Yes.
I expect it's as close to diplomacy as the Knight Commander gets.
Although why the Wardens would care about a fop and his...
He toys with big beasties. Who knows what he'll flush out of the dark. It's light duty. Can't lie about that. So, still playing at these little adventures. You never did know when to put away your toys.
And you never knew when to shut up.
Harsh, but fair.
So, grow up is what my little brother is saying.
Seems odd, doesn't it?
But they're such fun, and you're so old now.
Have your fun. But it has to end someday. Everything does. Seems like you could be doing something bigger with our name.
Hello? Champion?
Right, I know how you got the title. How often do you think that's going to happen?
Do you have an estate? I have an estate.
Right, the family fortune. And yet you're still chasing stuff like this.
I always did like a man in uniform.
You sure you wouldn't like a man out of uniform better? Life's so full of hard choices, isn't it?
I'm certain she wouldn't.
Brother, I would never ever.
I always did like a man on a mission.
Wardens go deep. It's a hard calling. And we also save the world.
Very interesting.
No, it isn't. It's definitely not.
I'll tell you about it sometime, when I'm not You know, saving the world. Is this revenge? You're mad at me for something, so you drag me out to Baron Pussy de Roquefort's grand fete.
I figured there'd at least be free food.
I do like free food.
I've got your back. I've been calling him Duke Prosperity, but Pussy de Roquefort is much better.
Le Baron de Stinky Cheese.
Yes, inviting you to a party is an insidious punishment I've been planning for months.
Probably going to make me eat the mouldy cheese, too. Why can't we ever meet any normal people?
I'm normal.
You jumped off a roof and stabbed a man in the back.
In a completely normal fashion. So, you're Hawk's brother?
Yes. Carver. Carver Hawk.
I usually have to try a lot harder to annoy someone. What's your issue?
It's nothing that an outsider need worry about.
Well, cold stares for everyone then.
We still admit that, on occasion.
But you're on good terms?
This second? I suppose so. The day's young, though.
It won't last. We're fine, just different. He'll bugger it up yet.
That is a common accusation.
Strained, then?
We're on different paths.
He's an ass.
You're Ferelden-born, aren't you?
Yes, we were.
I understand Fereldens have a certain animosity with Orlais.
We didn't get many Orlesians in Lothering. I just think they talk funny.
I think you talk funny. And here I remember you mooning over that red-headed lay sister with the accent.
She was nice, wasn't she?
Way to sound like a bumpkin, Carver.
Thanks, brother. It seems a small concern in light of other things. I've met a few. Nice people. Not like this lot.
The excess does seem, excessive.
Try not to cause too much trouble, will you? I have to uphold the tenets of the Order now.
I'll try and work in some major pressure too. Well, you know where you can uphold them.
Right. You and I can keep it civil until you're done. Whatever it is you think you're doing.
Am I compatible with those tenets?
Don't you remember how we scrambled to buy influence? It worked, obviously. No one is touching Hawk of Hightown, not without a lot of weight behind them. No one is touching the champion, not over some Orlesian holiday.
You frightened me.
Me?
Before we found you, there was a moment when I... Don't do that again. Shok Ebasit Hisra, Maras Shokra.
Are you testing me? That's so cute.
Do you know what I said or not?
Struggle is an illusion. There is nothing to struggle against. But your accent is terrible.
I hear there's going to be an Alathven soon, in Halam Shiral. A large one.
A gathering of the clans? How do I not know about that?
Possibly because some elves are still willing to talk to me.
You've been waiting to say that, haven't you?
Maybe a little. Aveline. Your name is Orlesian, isn't it?
Yes. My father was a chevalier. Exiled. The way he talked about those days, you'd think glory was all that mattered. To anyone.
But not to you.
We disagreed on many things. For a long time.
I think if he could see you now, he'd be proud.
Thank you, Fenris.
Do many Tevinter slaves run away to the Kunari?
Some. I never understood why they thought it was an improvement.
I imagine that to a slave, almost anything is an improvement, no?
So, instead of being owned outright, you swear voluntarily to do anything the Qun asks of you, up to and including dying for your betters? It's just slavery by another name. Everywhere we go, people try to kill you.
You've been responsible for that yourself on a few occasions.
I'll fit right in then.
You were too willing to involve yourself in the affairs of others, Hawk. Each time you put yourself at risk. One day you will not be so lucky.
You have a better idea?
Guard what you have. Keep your head low.
Without risk, there's no reward.
Perhaps. One day you may simply end up being rewarded with a blade in the back.
Not your blade, however.
Not my blade, no.
That sounds like a way to go through life without ever knowing anyone.
I suppose so.
How well has that worked for you, Fenris? Like a dragon, guarding my treasure hoard.
That's not what I meant.
Shall I eat passers-by? Perhaps I can demand virgin sacrifices.
Even dragons are eventually slain, Hawk.
You know, Fenris, you should get a pet.
I'm afraid to ask what brought this on.
On the way here, I saw a noblewoman in a gown made completely out of fur. I thought she was a bear at first.
So I should keep an Orlesian noblewoman as a pet?
Orlesians would make terrible pets. They'd complain all the time. No, I was thinking of a griffin.
Somehow I should have expected that.
You can't swing a dead cat in Starkhaven without hitting an Orlesian.
Truly. Starkhaven seems like a long way for them to go.
The Minanta River flows across half of Thedas. Orlesian merchants bob in it like apples.
I like apples.
Yes, well, these apples will buy your sister, eat your house, and woo your chickens.
Manservant.
I'm certain he didn't mean anything by it, Fenris.
Should be elf servant, if you think about it.
Aww, Fenris got his feeling hurt.
It's only a cover.
I'd like to cover him with 6 feet.
Don't take it personally.
Would it make you feel better to rip his heart out later?
Maybe.
Oh, buck up.
Oh, don't get mad.
Orlesians.
They trouble you?
It's the excess of it all. I feel out of place.
I felt that even in Kirkwall. Slaves get accustomed to very simple apparel.
Tevinter isn't known for its restraint either.
Lyrium's scarring is not something that should inspire anything, let alone fashion.
Says the glowing elf.
I don't know. Dying for clothes doesn't seem beyond some of them.
What they inflict is not fashion. It's more like a child dressing a doll. So we are helping the Kunari.
We're helpers.
I told you, there are many innocent lives at stake as well.
And how many innocents have the Kunari slaughtered? Ugh. You escape a life of servitude and oppression, only to join a society of absolute obedience and servility?
I'm not oppressed. I serve because I wish to.
In the manner they dictate, and on pain of death.
You make it sound so senseless.
Voluntarily giving up your freedom is senseless. Just how many of these creatures live on this mountain?
Be thankful they're not high dragons.
Good point. I am yours as always. It is always good to be at your side. Oh, same trouble as always, Hawk. Why do I allow you to get me involved in these things? Why do you even bother going to meet people? Do they ever not try to kill you?
You and Talus better not start competing over who can lure the most converts.
I don't think anyone here is in much danger of converting to the Qun.
But you do see it as a danger.
If they offer something that the Chantry does not, we need to learn what it is. Else we sow the seeds of our own demise.
And it's more threatening when a cute elf gives the pitch, instead of a horned giant.
Absolutely.
So just how good are you with that bow?
Eh? There have been no complaints.
So if I put an apple on my head, could you shoot it off?
Considering what you've led us into, I don't think that would be wise.
You people are so touchy.
So, what were you before?
When I was a little girl, I liked to pretend I was a dragon.
I mean, were you raised in the Chantry, among the Dalish?
Where I grew up, the Imperial Chantry was the only option. They don't have much use for elves, or anyone who's not a magister.
Then they weren't representing the will of Andraste. The Maker has a place for everyone.
So does the Qun.
I'm surprised you never took the Amel name.
Why?
The Viscount accepted you as your grandparents' legitimate heir. If you took the name, you'd be a lord.
I'm happy with who I am.
You're right, then. You wouldn't fit in among the nobility.
Like I don't have enough people trying to kill me already.
This isn't Antiva. Not all nobles are targets for assassination.
How sheltered are you?
Are you supposed to be proof of this theory?
Point.
I'd rather teach them to respect the name Hawk.
I wonder if there's something we can learn from the Kunari. Have you seen how loyal they are? Even the least member has the faith of a dedicated brother.
Are you leaving me to join the Qun?
Never.
Maybe you should talk to Talis. Find out what drew her to the Qun. People like being told what to think. The Chantry is too open-minded. They just do what they're told.
I wonder what it takes to convince so many people that you have all the answers.
I am so nervous. What if I do something wrong and embarrass us? I always do something wrong.
You'll be fine, Meryl.
But I don't know anything about human manners. What if I use the wrong fork and then accidentally stab someone with it? That sounds like the sort of thing that would happen to me.
Just act annoyed that they bled on your dress. Nobody will even notice. This must be refreshing for you. I imagine it gets tiresome, having to spend all your time dealing with thieves and drunkards.
Nice clothing doesn't make someone less of a thief. And some of the fops trailing the Duke are just as drunk as the crowd and the hanged man.
They do smell better, though. You have to give them that. You know, people generally wear shoes to this sort of affair.
Really? What a strange custom. Among the Dalish, it is a mortal insult to cover your toenails in the presence of a superior.
You're kidding.
I don't like getting caught up in this, Hawk. Canary follow their own laws, not ours.
And when have I ever stayed in my place?
Fair point.
Talis makes you uncomfortable.
Yes. Do I?
It all makes me uncomfortable, which is probably intentional.
Siding with the Orlesians would be any better.
At least they're understandable. Can a canary be grateful to outsiders? We're just tools. They really aren't like us. Not even her. So this is what life could have been if Father hadn't been exiled. Fancy. I wonder if I would have liked it.
Right. You were born in Orlais. Lady Dulac.
It sounds so ridiculous. They're not all like this. I wouldn't be. Father wasn't. I suppose that was the problem. I think I'm all right with what I've got. And who I've got.
You'd look grand next to the Delanceys. All coiffed and buttressed.
Maker, no.
Aveline, my bulbous cherub, you must hear the droning of Lord Full of Shit.
Stop it, you.
Nothing I see from this lot makes me second-guess a thing.
Well, no. But their nation didn't get as strong as it is because of this bunch. It's a proud place with good reason. At least that's what Father chose to say.
Is it a lot of fun being a guard?
I don't think the city guard is right for you, Meryl.
I've read all about it in Varric's Guard serial. I could be your partner, we could fight crime together.
Guards don't have partners. Well, not like he says anyway.
That's why you need me. Oh, we could get matching outfits.
All guards have matching outfits.
But ours would be the matchingest.
So you're a spy?
Not by profession, but yes.
What do you mean? What's your role under the Qun?
The Ben Hasrath are enforcers. We protect the faith and the innocent.
Enforcer makes you more Templar than guard.
Sure, let's go with that.
How did you learn to do that thing with the knives, Tallis?
Throwing them?
Yes, Isabella does that sometimes too. How do you keep it from hitting someone hilt first and just bonking them on the nose?
Oh, that happens all the time, actually. You just act like you meant to do that, which is really hard sometimes and ruins the moment. Champion of Kirkwall? Fancy title.
It was earned. Not that fancy. The only one in Kirkwall not completely insane was considered.
So, do you get a stipend? They let you rule the city?
Not yet. I'm not sure someone can rule that city. They gave me a medal. It's shiny.
Is your family really from Kirkwall? I heard you were Ferelden.
My mother's family is from Kirkwall. We left Ferelden during the Blight.
Makes sense. Did you know the warden?
No, but I understand he's some kind of relative.
Really? Why am I not surprised?
No. Someone told me he even came to Lothering, but if so, I never saw him. Just how long has this wyvern hunt been going on?
It's an annual tradition the Montfort began to keep the population down. They breed quickly.
Elves, too. We're plucky that way.
Well, there's no annual elf hunt. Yet.
And the Orlesian nobility is only too happy to help out.
It's a game. The Montforts are so close to the Empress, so anything that pleases them is worth pursuing. Plus, you should really try the Aquae Lucidius. You'll be seeing purple dragons in the sky for days.
Not sure I want to know how you know.
And be right useless the whole time.
No thanks. I'd rather remain effective.
People will drink anything.
40 crowns a bottle on the black market. Not that I've checked or anything.
Who would want to be sick for days? That's ridiculous.
It's not so much sick as delirious, Bethany.
Oh.
For days? Really?
Don't even think about it, Carver.
You never let me have any fun.
Are you married?
Is that a proposal?
It's just, you're the champion of Kirkwall. Big. Important. I don't know. Just wondering if there's a little woman behind the throne.
Not unless I stowed the body there.
There are no thrones in your mansion, are there? The chairs are so small.
Oh, Meryl.
Yes. That's a very good question, isn't it?
Yes. Who is behind your throne, Hawk?
A fine question.
Let's keep moving.
Do the Canary treat elves well, then?
They treat elves like anyone else.
But they do such terrible things. I thought...
Elves are not exempt. We all pay a price for freedom. Ask yourself if the price an elf pays here is better or worse.
I don't want to think about it.
Eventually, all of us will have to.
So you willingly joined? Didn't they invade your homeland?
I like the way you say homeland. It's obvious you care for yours. Tventer conquered mine generations ago. Why would I owe them allegiance over the Qun?
It's not the same. It seems like joining the Darkspawn.
But on the bright side, no taint.
All the nobles are looking at you.
Would I dress like this if I didn't want people looking at me?
It doesn't make you uncomfortable.
Honey, you don't know uncomfortable till you've been bent backwards over the helm of a ship and handcuffed to the rail.
At your request, I assume.
It was complicated.
Sure it was.
It's so exciting to be out of Kirkwall. It seems we haven't left there in ages.
We do seem to spend a ridiculous amount of time in the city.
Oh, I needed this break. I was starting to think every part of Kirkwall looked alike.
Thank you for deciding to do this.
Thank me when we're done.
You could be dead. Or I could be.
Then one of us won't feel very thankful. I just hope, for your sake, this isn't another trick.
Is there something else I could trick you with?
Day's still young. I'm a sucker for hard cases. Just look at my companions.
I heard that.
You have no idea, Talus.
We're like collectible coins, but the sort no one really wants.
Marvinan, I was thinking, maybe your house needs a garden.
Did the Arenberg's gardener chase you away again?
Hawk, have you ever thought about planting a garden?
I hadn't really. Why?
Things seem so grim all the time. You could use a few flowers.
At Gamlen's house? You don't think that would be cruel to the plants?
Haren Pyvel used to tell stories about wyverns.
What kind of stories?
The never go to the mountains where they hunt because whole Dalish clans have vanished sort. They never had happy endings, except for the wyvern chicks, I guess. Oh, caves. I like caves.
No, you don't, Meryl.
Oh, right. Giant creepy spiders and things live in caves. What am I thinking of then? Ruins? Are you sure it was a good idea bringing me along? I'll probably mess everything up. Hawk. Never mind.
I don't think we're getting out this way now.
Oh, I don't know. Some lock-picking, maybe a few hours, and... Oh, you're probably right.
We could try bashing our way through.
That's right, Aveline. Just hit it.
Or we could try squeezing your fat ass between the bars.
Ladies?
There's a hound following us. Nobody feed him.
Hawk, are you carrying soup bones in your backpack again?
Who fed the dog?
Oh, look at the puppy! You should keep him.
Were we just attacked by a tree? I knew it, Hawk. Nature is batshit crazy.
Even the trees are foul-tempered here. It must be all the Orlesians.
Sylvans. Perfect. As if the Orlesians weren't bad enough without possessed trees.
Was that a Sylvan? Father used to tell stories about haunted parts of the Brazilian forest, where trees came to life.
So, who made the tree angry? I know it wasn't me.
Only you could fight a pine tree and win.
I've always found wyverns are better sport than giant spiders.
A hunt to test their courage. Wish this lot could have been at Ostergar.
And here I thought Orlesians only hunted other Orlesians for horrendous crimes against fashion.
I take it we run around randomly shouting, "Here, wyvern, wyvern, wyvern!"
Are there truly wyverns here, not just servants dressed up in wyvern suits?
Supposedly. Not that I've ever seen one, though.
Next time, could we hunt something small and cuddly? Maybe vegetarian?
Do wyverns eat many people at these things? Or is that just on special occasions?
Hunting for sport. Is it wrong of me to cheer for the wyverns?
Don't you think... wyvern is a strange word. It's like a cross between a wife and a cistern.
Are we actually supposed to catch one of these things or just look fashionable doing it? I never can tell with Orlesians.
You let him go? That was very merciful.
That's not a bad word, you know.
We only slaughter 90% of the things we meet.
That's Hawk. Merciful.
Hawk is nice to everybody. Well, not bandits and skeletons and things, but everyone else. Hawk is nice to lots of people. Bossy, but nice.
It's no copper marigolds, but I think Aveline would want to see this. You can't rhyme blooms with bosoms, that's... well, I'm sure Aveline will enjoy it anyway.
Don't mind me, Hawk, I'm just confiscating this as evidence.
My love is like a candle in the bath. Who writes this stuff? I picked up some other, documents that I thought you'd like, Aveline.
Oh, that's lovely. I mean... Oh, never mind. Shut up, Hawk.
Hawk! So, the rescue plan didn't work. I'm sure you figured that out by now.
Good, you're out. Was that the best party ever, or what?
Oh, of course you don't need rescuing. Could have strolled out of there hours ago.
I have never been so happy to see you, Hawk.
I'm so glad to see you. Rescuing is a lot harder than Varric's books make it out to be.
And you're fine. Of course you are.
Thank the Maker. Are you all right, love?
Safe and sound. This is why I never rush when you're in trouble.
Hawk, you're all right. Of course you're all right.
Marvin, Ann, thank the creators. How did you escape? Was it exciting? Did you shank someone?
There you are. Were you hurt? What happened?
Hawk, I should have known you'd be all right.
Hard in Hightown too. Even harder. Varric will want to know about this.
Look at this garbage. I should sue this guy for crimes against language. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to set the Merchants Guild looking for this hack writer.
This spelling is even worse than Anders's manifesto. Donnan punched like he'd never punched before. Maker's breath. I hope Varric shoots this guy when he finds him.
Another chapter. Would you look at this drivel? This guy doesn't even know how to use punctuation. Well, that's the last of it. When I'm through with this hack, he'll wish he'd never picked up a pen.
So anyone can be a Canary. What were the Horn ones before that, then? Not one person here has spoken to me. It's like I'm your squire. You've never known how to mind your own business, have you?
Travelling with you is always eye-opening, Hawk.
Funny. She didn't look brainwashed.
I never thought I'd be wishing to be back at Uncle Gamlen's.
You have the strangest way of making friends.
I think I like this part more than the fancy party bit.
You get invited to all the interesting parties.
Oh, you just can't keep out of trouble, can you?
This is so much fun. I'm glad you asked me.
I'm sure you're eager to punch something, Hawk, but don't look at me.
Lead on. To the golden jewels, I mean. Being around you is never dull.
I don't want the Duke as an enemy when I return to Starkhaven.
All this running around together. It hasn't been so bad.
Why can't you ever make friends with anyone normal, Hawk?
This is so exciting. We've never done anything this Orlesian before.
Someone who wants to use you for your noble connections. Bloody daft.
What is it with you and helping cute elves with no self-preservation instinct?
Stealing Canary things from Orlesians. Why do I feel like I've been here before?
I thought Canary were all the same. Like that awful beast in Lothering. I guess there's more than that.
The last wyvern hunt I was on, my mother caught me sneaking off with the kennel master's girl. Took my bow away for a week. The Duke de Montfort is well respected in the Free Marches. Be careful about getting on his bad side.
Funny how we ran into each other here. You turn up in the oddest places.
I never expected to meet you here, but I suppose it's a nice surprise.
You can train a wyvern for riding if you break it young. It takes a skilled man. And a small man. This is going to be a trap. A trap baited with an adorable redhead. Which is the worst kind of trap.
Do you bring me along just to annoy me?
Talis is Kunari. But she looks so normal.
Drinks after this?
Is it too late to stay home?
I'm with you, as always.
She's too cute to be Canary.
Are we going to leave her to do this alone? I'm glad my clan never camped here.
She's got style, I'll give her that.
I like her. Do you think we'll see her again?
It's good she's gone. Let's get out of here.
Today just keeps getting better and better. Why is it you never take me anywhere nice?
I know I'm Dalish, but I'm not really the most qualified hunter.
Why can't this shit ever happen any place civilized? Yes, I'm still here. Exciting, I know.
I should have stayed at the tavern.
I hope all her kind go back to Parvollen.
Let's get back to Kirkwall. We should never have left.
It's better to stay out of Cunari politics.
It's your decision, but I think we should leave. A Ben Hasrath traitor? Unbelievable.
I'm ready. Nobody get eaten.
Running around with you has really made me realize how much I miss it.
Let's just get out of here and let the Canaries solve their own problems.
One of these days, we'll be the ones with a mansion on a hill.
This isn't our business, Hawk. We've no way to know who's right.
Coming to the Hanged Man for wicked grace later?
Remind me never to call you a Ferelden turnip.
Pay attention to where we're going. I don't want Talis getting us lost.
I would never have guessed Talis was Cunari. She hardly ever glowers.
You shouldn't have brought me here. I'm a danger to everyone around me.
A Cunari spy? They certainly found the last person you'd suspect.
Oh, look at that! Wait, is it moving? Maybe I should stand farther away.
A dark, musty cavern. Wow, you sure know where all the good parties are.
Good thing about you dragging me into these things is that you often manage to drag me right out again.
Yes, let's follow the little Cunari agent. There's no way this could go badly.
Shouldn't we be seeking allies among the nobles here, not the heathen elves?
These people spend their lives surrounded by real injustices. But instead they waste their time fighting some poor mindless beast.
Why would you help this elf? She follows the Qun. She'll think nothing of turning on you if it will serve them.
Poncy nobles. They should hunt bandits, do some good instead of pointless sport.
The minute I saw her, I knew there was something suspicious. Far too cute to be anything but evil.
Thanks for swooping in there.
Swooping is bad.
What?
I don't know. I just heard it somewhere. Oh, maybe you should try to look smaller.
Maybe you should look smaller?
I am smaller. Are you trying to get caught on purpose?
And maybe you could use your inside voice. Everyone can hear you chattering from a mile away.
I don't chatter.
Inside voice. And your nagging is a big help.
This isn't nagging.
Call it whatever you want, just don't do it.
If that's what makes you happy.
Security! What else?
It's not very effective. We're getting past it, aren't we?
Obviously they've gone about it the wrong way. They should have put in a pool, with sharks, on fire.
Is the pool on fire, or the sharks?
I don't know. Both. Everything's better when it's on fire.
Come on, step lively.
Would you also like me to do a pirouette while I'm at it?
How is your nephew, Bantegan? Which one? Connor is well enough. He's almost through the most trying years. Alistair, on the other hand, seems to be just entering them. Again.